big week in sports. We had the Thanksgiving Day games.
Yes.
And first of all, go Blue, baby.
Go Blue.
Wow,
Yes.
man.
What an ass kicking.
Great
Loved
football.
every minute of it. You know what they did? They did it without their best football player. We talked a lot about Blake Corum last episode with
God.
Mateo and how good he is and how well he's ran. But Donovan Edwards stepped up. The offense stepped up. Everybody was scared about the deep ball. And Jim Harbaugh let J.J. McCarthy cut it loose, man. I loved it. And
You like that kid here in Detroit, that Edwards? That big ass back?
yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be a couple years down the road, though. I think Corum, next year, I think he'll be a good NFL player, too, if he stays healthy. He's smaller, thicker running back, I think he'd be a good change of pace back. Similar to like a Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jamal's having a great year, too, by the
Yeah.
way. Leads the league in
God.
touchdowns.
Wow.
But, so number 2 behind Georgia, we got, TCU and USC, and Ohio State's out on the outside looking in. And I really like our chances. I really feel like if we get to that championship game against Georgia, I think we can beat them. That's just my take. But we got to get through Purdue first, Saturday. So.
Yeah, and that's first and foremost.
Aren't they favored against Purdue, though, right now?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what the line is. I
I
can
think
look
it's
that
7.
up.
But here's my thing. It may be 10. Here's my thing. They spanked that ass. And then they whipped that ass. Okay? All of us here, who would have thought that bad of a stink? And I know they're a second half team. But to come out and play the way they did. I mean, they looked pummeled on the sideline. And remember a couple of years ago, we were doubting Harbaugh. This is what we brought you in here for.
We were ready to run them out of town.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he was that close.
Took the pay cut, right?
Yep.
Like, dude, we brought you in here to beat Ohio State, bro. I mean, and you've done it twice by a matter of 48 or 49 points.
Yeah. It's like we
In
talked
two
about,
games.
me and B talked about a little bit last night, was brought in some young coaches, revived them, and he's sinking and really getting into it now. And you can see all the big media went against Harbaugh, too. That's why his post-game pressers and on-field interviews, he's like, talk to my players, He wants to give them the
I
shine.
love that.
I love it, too. It's like, screw the big box companies, man. They showed us no love.
Does he go down as one of your best with Schembechler and them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would like to see him win a national title.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I think that would be the cherry on top. And that's the ultimate FU to all the haters, which I think you got to get one. And this is the year to do it. Alabama's taking a step back. Clemson, LSU's right there. And you got a few teams chomping at the bit. And Georgia's still Georgia. But I feel like out of all years, this is going to be his best opportunity.
And he's in a time now, I mean, these players are outstanding, man.
They're all playing hard, fast, physical. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Look at it this way. Like you say, you got Georgia, number 1. Michigan, number 2, correct?
Yes.
TCU. Them first 2 teams, Georgia and Michigan, how many from them teams are going pro? Probably 15.
Yeah, I would say so.
15 kids are going to be going into pros.
And the recruits that they're going to get now, I mean, that was probably one of the best Michigan wins we've seen in a long time. The way they took that flag and staked it at the 50.
Yeah.
I loved it.
There was scarlet red as far as the eye could see, man. You seen, like I said, a little bit of cluster of just a little maize and blue in the corner of that
How
stadium.
intimidating it looked, man.
It did. Even the 5 announcers before the game started, 4 out of the 5 picked, OU.
What was it? Woodson was the only one.
Woodson,
picked
he's
Michigan,
an
of course.
alum, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna, but even he seemed a little bit. It's like the weather's great. I mean, he was just looking for something good. He kind of had it probably feeling that Ohio State was a better team, but there's no question. McCarthy, man, and that team is just gelled. And going to your point, man, Harbaugh had to put better people around him.
Yeah.
And he quit micromanaging everything, He was doing weird shit. He was going over recruits' houses and stuff like that and sleeping overnight, It just, now he does his press conferences like you said. He's let the kids talk.
Yeah.
That's how bad he wanted. Do you remember this conversation we had weeks prior back? And you had asked me, and Master B, do you think Harbaugh made the right decision on the quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I wasn't so sure then. Like, this kid is phenomenal. And I watched him grow week by week.
You know what you see? It's that poise and that confidence, where he's
Oh my
never
gosh.
flustered. He's always in it, downfield blocking or
Yes.
taking a hit, diving. He's a gamer, man. You love to see that from the quarterback position.
Absolutely.
Good call on the coach. I mean, because maybe we're not here.
Now, on the flip side, you look at Ryan Day, I felt like he coached like real tight that game. Like
Oh,
something
yeah.
like Harbaugh would have done before. Not going for it. I think it was 4th.
Conservative, right? He
Yeah.
seemed a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, he was a little puckered, I would say.
And he looked pumped.
and-
I believe I've seen signs of pickolitis. I really
So
do.
you're thinking he was
I-
rather bleached. Tom knew.
They're ready to run him out of town in Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose the big one.
One
That's 2 in a
game.
row.
Two in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a
2
row.
in a row now.
But that's what they played that whole season for. They all we've been talking about is Ohio State. Yeah, we're getting through these, easy games, these first 3 or 4. We're going to beat this team and that team, but everything leads to this final game.
And but I love the thing like Harbaugh said. He goes, one game at a time.
Yeah,
We're looking to play this team here. We got to beat them first, get to Ohio State.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the part I love where mine wasn't focused on them. Or at least he didn't put it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make the game bigger than what it is as far as keeping them guys unfocused. Like, guys, listen. And like the quarterback said, we're not finished yet.
Exactly. I love that.
I
he said
love
that.
that.
Humbleness,
it.
there's
Yeah.
a maturity level with those guys. Like,
Yes.
they say, like, hey, this is just one game. Like, he could have
We
been
still
all
got
crazy.
Purdue on Saturday
No.
to get to that game. Let's win the division, the Big Ten,
Yeah.
and then let's go take care of our business and win the national
You got to
championship.
win 2 more to get to the championship. So, yeah. Win the Big Ten,
Yep.
get in the playoff, handle your business, then go see the big boys down south.
Now, who they play in the playoff?
We have to see. It could be chaotic if TCU or USC loses. And I could see a road where Ohio State, because their 1 loss is against the number 2 team in the nation, where they slide back in there.
And we play them again.
What if you have Ohio State and Georgia playing their first round? You can actually meet them again in the championship. That'd be nuts. But I can't see Ohio State beating Georgia.
No, not at all.
You know?
I honestly believe that Ohio State's done.
11
Michigan
and
took
1 and
so
you're
much out
done.
of them.
That's crazy, right? You're 11
Michigan
and 1, but you
took
lost
so
the big
much
game.
out of
That's
them.
college football. Yeah.
They took the life right out of them.
They did. They beat the piss out of them, and I loved every minute of it.
Yes.
And even as Michigan slappies, right? Like, we didn't see that second half coming necessarily. I had a feeling they could win. I didn't think they were going to kick their ass like they did in the second.
No,
half.
I had them by 3.
Yeah, I mean,
11 and
it's
1.
fun to see. It's great to see.
11 and 1, and you're just, that's how you feel.
Absolutely. Oh,
Unreal, man.
Ohio State's the butthole of America, so
Yeah.
whatever. Go
There's a
blue,
lot,
man.
of, lot of arrogance over there, that's for sure.
They talk mad cash shit about us too, so it is.
Oh,
what it is.
yeah.
So do you give Harbaugh the golden key?
I think he's earned his keep, but let's see how it keeps playing out. But he's earning it back.
Thought
man.
I seen today he got Big Ten Coach of the Year.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
I love it.
Yeah, man, he deserves it. He
I
really
gotta find something Jordan with the yellow and the gold to support that. I got a hat. I had an old school hat, Michigan one. But I gotta find that Jordan.
Are you going to get the Bo Schembechler Aviators?
No, I want the Jordans. I used to have a pair of Michigan Jordans.
with the high
Them were the
trumpet hat.
best. Them were the best. But them shoes were the best when I had them. About 15 years
Actually,
ago.
cool story. The guy up north at Glen Lake, Bill, the
Yeah,
neighbor,
yeah.
he actually played for Bo.
Did he?
Yeah,
Wow.
we put him
That
in the
one we
dock
were
together.
sitting there talking to?
Mhm.
Oh, no.
Yeah, older guy. Yeah, pretty cool.
Michigan has the best uniforms, though. Their
I love it,
Their
yeah.
uniforms are sweet.
I kind of like the all maize uniform though.
Better than the green and white, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
What a disaster, man! I don't even think they're getting a bowl, right? They lost that.
They're
game.
getting the shit bowl.
They're getting the toilet bowl, but they don't even, they didn't even qualify. That whole,
yet.
that university's a little upside down right now.
Yeah, I got some work to do. Excuse me. Hollywood, you want to bring up the whole New York Jets situation?
Oh, yes. We got here in New York Jets. Our $1 million quarterback, Zach Wilson, has been benched.
I seen this, man.
And you bring in this
Solid.
guy, Mike White, who comes in and performs. 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. Like, he owned the team.
He looked good.
Now,
He looked good.
Let me ask both of you guys this: Does he get another shot? And did Robert Saleh make the right decision?
I my opinion of this, he'll get another shot. He's a number 1 draft pick. You know how much money they got to pay this kid? You know, it's like you can't give up hope on it, but I think it maybe it was a coaching lesson. You know, he didn't want to take the responsibility. He didn't want to. He wanted to blame everybody but his own play and why he hasn't been losing a ton of games, but it's a maturity thing. I think Saleh just said, look, man, you're on the bench. You're going to learn a little bit more. They pull this kid off, and he's all of a sudden he's Joe Cool, man. He's Joe Superstar out there.
Yeah.
What if this guy is? I mean,
Man, you want to talk about stirring up
Then
a pot? in
you
New
have
York.
was it Rosen situation?
yeah. I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
Here's this kid, Pretty Boy Floyd. He's got all this money. He's in New York. Okay.
He was raised a rich kid too. Was what the rumor is. He was Silver
Right.
Spoon kind
So
of kid.
Steve Young didn't like that.
Yeah.
and you have this.
He was offended.
Did you see his stats over the last 3 games? 123 yards, 103 yards.
Horrible.
That's not an NFL quarterback.
No.
And your wins that you're getting is by your defense. You're just getting by. And I think that's what Solomon said. We can't go over this kid. I mean, I got to make a move now. It may cost my job,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'll go somewhere else.
But
Saleh
I gotta make
True
a
is a
move.
good coach. And
Yes.
he dropped his nuts on the table and said, hey, dude,
Hey.
you're not going to, I got a great defense. You're not going to separate my locker room by not being accountable because you're playing poorly. He did
Yes.
the absolute
But
right
he
thing.
looks like a genius right now.
Yes.
You know, he looks like, let's say, Jeff Saturday looked like a genius coming in winning his first game too, but now
Yeah.
he's getting called out on.
But I think he's good for the
management.
team. Yeah.
Time will tell with this quarterback.
I think he's
he
good
played
for the
very
team.
well.
I think Saturday's good for the team.
I mean, do you guys believe in that philosophy though? If you got a player who's not mature enough or not taking his responsibility, it's a coaching moment. I don't give a shit if you're number 1 draft pick. We're paying you millions of
What
dollars.
did Shanahan had to do?
Yeah.
The bench has got. You're going to sit here, son. You're going to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and this
Yes.
is. I mean, I bet you this kid's just biting his fingernails off, just pissed off at it because I'm the guy.
Yeah.
No, you're not the guy right now.
No,
You
you're
get
not.
this
You're
kid to the bench you go, and all of a sudden this guy shows him up. Don't tell me as athletes, you guys would be burnt, pissed off about
You
that
see it
too,
at every
right?
level too,
Yeah.
in coaching too. It's tough when
Oh,
you got a
man.
kid, he's really good, right? But he thinks he's above everybody, and you have to simmer him down.
That's why I like about Allen Iverson. I ain't got practice.
Yeah, practice.
Wow.
I'm talking about practice.
Practice.
What are you talking about? Practice.
I think you roll with this guy. You've committed to him. As long as he continues, you are the backup. In order for you to get this job, he has to get hurt. And then we go into the next season and you fight for this job.
Yeah.
Because this kid can keep going, getting better and better. Next thing you know, he's got 11, 12 wins that he's earned in remarkable points getting his team in there. Why am I going to allow you to come in there and then get knocked out in the first round?
It's kind of like what Washington is doing with Heineke, riding the hot hand. I think Carson Wentz has done there. And
Yeah,
same
Wentz
Mike
is-
White hits, lightning in a bottle and runs them to the playoffs and they have a great run. Now you got something to think about. You look at contracts, I know he's number 1 overall pick, all that stuff, but it happened with Josh Rosen.
Yes.
I think the money, like we talked about before, is a little bit easier to finagle these days. You got all these different signing bonus things that you can do. If your team's that good and you can eat that money, you might move on eventually.
It's a business, guys. Look what happened in San Francisco.
We need to start
Guy
seeing what
gets
these guys are
injured.
going to do.
Jimmy G comes in to piggyback off what you're talking about here, Hollywood. Look what's going on in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Rodgers goes down with an injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out yet. That's still yet to be determined. Love comes in and man, he picked it right up where they left.
That's the part I liked. He
Now,
Yeah.
is the switch happening there as well? I mean, like to your point, it's not. It's money and but it's a business. It's about a win, man.
If he comes out,
Feelings are going to get hurt, but we got to win as a team.
Yeah.
This brings a lot of money to us. This is why it's a business.
But Jimmy
man.
G could have, his
Entertainment.
feelings probably were hurt. They had him practicing in a whole different field.
Yeah,
than
Oh,
everybody else.
absolutely.
They told him, hey, dude. I mean, yeah,
Talk
you're part
about a
of our team.
professional, a guy that he knew he's in it for. He's got to go for himself now. You got to be ready, right?
I'm pulling for that guy.
Absolutely.
and then he goes, he goes, it's been 6 months since I threw a ball. My arm was a little short in the first game.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was like I wasn't throwing.
He looks like he's been. I mean, he looks good.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you'll have another decision if they go to the Super Bowl and if they win, what are you going to do then?
I don't know.
Sometimes you just have good mojo with quarterbacks. You know what I mean? The guy just runs the offense well. Jimmy G's not going to be a Mahomes, but he's going to not turn the ball over. He's going to be efficient.
He's
accurate
consistent.
with the
He's
football.
solid. He's
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. So a lot to think about. On the flip side of that, you got Russell Wilson, whose career's falling apart.
Oh man,
I mean, you got
Shit in the
defensive
bed,
like Carolina
linemen cussing him out on the sideline.
I seen
the
that.
media's all over him. The coach is about to get fired. So it's a train wreck. And Elway gave up so much for this guy.
Why though? Why did he do
always
that?
greener over there? And look at Seattle's winning right now, guys. Seattle's actually winning.
Why did he
football
do
games.
That's the ultimate kick in the nuts, I think. Geno Smith, he took that opportunity. He's running with it.
Yes.
He called
They're
out a reporter.
professionals.
He said, "Did you believe we would be this far with me?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't see me throw a football. That's why."
See?
He's got
That's-
confidence in himself. And he's
Absolutely.
I like
ready.
Brissett. He's going to be another one.
Yeah.
Taking over Cleveland, goes and beats Tampa Bay. Just the right opportunity for him.
But
Yeah.
bro, go back to Russell Wilson. I mean, as a Denver fan, they sold a lot of tickets. They picked up a lot of new season ticket holders because they got Russell. They got the missing piece. This dude does not look like himself. I mean, he's throwing the air out
5'10".
there. No receiver in play. He's trying to. Someone actually said that he may be even using some of the old play calls from the Seattle Seahawks, trying to convince the offensive coordinator this would be the best way to do things, and like he's trying to live his past over again. But it's not like he doesn't have the weapons over there, right?
Yeah.
I could see him playing in Oakland.
What do you mean, Russell?
Over Carr. Yep.
Yeah, but he's got a contract though right now, right? He's signed for big money.
I don't see it. I don't think Derek Carr's an issue in Vegas. I think Russell Wilson, he's in his own head. I mean, because you can't say Hackett, he might be a bad coach, but he's a great offensive mind. He was with Green Bay lighting it up for years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want
think Russell
Carr
Wilson-
somewhere else, though.
when he started demanding things in Seattle, that's when it started to unravel for him.
Right, maybe the character of him was
Yeah.
starting to reveal its ugly head.
Because there was already questions, right? Because like always happy, he's kind of a phony cat. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So I
he
think
puts on a good show.
that part's
Yeah.
kind of getting
How
exposed.
about Carr in Indy? How about Carr in Washington?
Well, you want to talk about Indy? Matt Ryan looks horrible too.
Yeah, Matt Ryan does
But
not look
We
good
talked
last
about
time.
that. We thought
Yeah.
that would be a lift for them, and it's gone.
How
the
about
opposite
Carr,
Doesn't
way.
do
though?
anything.
Carr would look a very good piece over there
Yeah.
in Indy. Get him out of Oakland. He's not happy there, man.
Does
He's
he?
got the receiver though.
He got his boy Devontae.
Tell me
And
Rodgers
there
wouldn't
was-
want Devontae Adams back.
Excuse me. There was shit about that, about all the passes going to him and not going around the rest of them.
Well, what they need to do is keep handing the ball to Jacobs.
Oh, God.
What a beast!
Stud.
What a beast! Did you?
Animal.
I mean, who leads for touchdowns right now? Williams, Jamal
Jamal.
Williams?
Yeah, Jamal.
With 14, right?
Yeah.
But Jacobs, dude, did he not light it up? I mean, this guy was a machine. He was catching. He was running like a madman. He looked good.
If Swift is normal and healthy, you have the best two running backs in the NFL, I believe. I
I
really
agree
believe
with
that them too.
Yeah, you got a nice combination going there. And I think the NFL is running back by committee in a sense.
Yeah.
You got to have if you got two good running backs like that, kind of like you got Cook over there in Minnesota, and then you got his backup Madison. Both are pretty solid running backs. Madison would be a starter in any team right now.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the backup,
I mean,
but he filled in for
I
Cook when he
like
got hurt
him,
last year
dude.
and ran
Yeah.
well.
I like him.
Yeah.
Big back.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like Gibson and McKissick over in Washington.
Yeah.
McKissick's hurt now, but you had two decent running backs, and that's kind of the way it is right now.
You see that one in Green Bay last night when Jones ran it, and it was a 20-yarder callback holding. Hit that edge, he was gone.
Well, there's another good example: Jones and Dillon.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
great
love
compliment.
that. Great.
I think-
Zeke and Pollard.
Yes, another good one. And I sat here before the season started, and bold predictions, whatever we did, and I said Swift was going to have the most yards from scrimmage. Had he stayed healthy with this offense, I don't know. Maybe he would have. That's the only issue. I don't want to walk away from him because he's still cheap.
You think it's mental, dude, with him?
A little bit now, I think he's pressing a little bit.
With
But those coaches are on him. Deuce Staley's on him. You can
Oh,
tell.
Oh, he's on him. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But when he scored, he daps him up on the sidelines.
Yeah.
He's still his, boy, but he showed him some tough love for sure. He's not getting all the carries he normally would.
And I like that in a coach. I like that.
That's what I like
Deuce
about
knows
Deuce.
what's like.
Yeah,
to
I like
win.
that.
Yeah.
That's
He's won Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Lions game, man? I thought it was a hell of a football game.
They played hard, guys.
Why do they keep giving Campbell beef on some kind of call? I thought he called a great game.
I thought his clock management was kind of piss poor. If I could say one bad thing, he did call a good football game.
That's what they were talking about. I think it was that.
You're talking
he
about
said-
the end of the
The
football
end
game?
of the game, I felt like they could have reserved some of that time. Look, I'm not going to. You keep talking about Campbell. I think he's a good coach. They played a good football game. They should have won that football game. But I think when you get in good games like that, it's a matter of one or two plays, guys. That missed field goal, bit him in the ass.
Yes.
There's an missed extra point, right? opportunity to hit a wide open receiver and you read the play wrong. I mean, it's in the games like that. The NFL has really come down to parity league right now. Very rarely get to see a 29-0 blowout like Lions had with New England earlier in the season. But you get into these battles right now. Almost every game is within 1 or 2 plays of making or breaking the win or the loss.
And that's what I like.
That's it.
So 3rd-and-1, Hollywood. They throw the pass to Chark. Goff's throwing the back shoulder. Chark tries to run deep. Their communication's off. He's missed the last month.
You can't throw it to him. Your communication's off. You said it right there. If that's Brown, it's on. Wow. This guy, he's back his first game. Wide open.
He had a great touchdown in the end zone, but again, if you're going to call a 50-50 ball, there's a 50% chance you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
So you're running, your offensive line is so good. I know you had trouble running the ball.
I'm coming off the end.
I would do another, jet sweep to St. Brown, little quick hitter or something like that.
That's it. Play action.
A shorter pass, you know what I mean? Give yourself a better opportunity.
All you need is one.
I get going for the touchdown because obviously with 23 seconds, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and those guys, they did it. You know what I mean? That's why you want to go for the touchdown. I understand that mindset. I just didn't like the call.
Dude, 23 seconds. If you give Jared Goff 23 seconds, could he do what Josh Allen did in 23 seconds?
No.
I don't think so.
That was a hell of a throw.
I mean, wide open too, right? I mean, like this guy gave him 23 seconds. Go back to like the Patrick Mahomes. You give these guys, a minute of time isn't what a minute of time used to mean. Like, game's over, need time. No.
That guy only needs
If this guy
19
gets the
seconds.
ball and he throws a dart for 45, 50 yards and they're already in field goal and they still got 3 timeouts left, they can work that last minute
right.
down like it's 10 minutes.
They said Mahomes only needs 19 seconds on the clock.
And we've
done it
seen
with
that.
16.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've done it exactly, Philly. We've
Yeah.
seen this, and it's almost like watching someone playing Madden on a video, game. It's amazing that these guys can do it in the high level of the NFL.
Well, again, you've gone toe-to-toe with the best team. Well, they haven't played KC, but Buffalo and
Philly,
Philly, you only
yeah.
lost by a field goal. I feel like this team is definitely in the right direction.
Oh, 100%.
I love seeing the younger kids play and play well. That James Houston kid, 6th-round pick from
Yes,
Jackson
Joseph.
Jackson State.
Yep.
Aleem McNeil looks like a really good player.
Yeah.
And you got all these DBs coming out of nowhere without Okuda. Maybe if we have Okuda, we win. But they held Diggs in check without him.
And we got a receiver coming back.
That's a lot to ask for.
Receiver, right?
Jameson Williams is
Well,
ready to come back
yep,
soon.
he's ready to come back.
That is a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
Steph, you go and get Stephon Diggs. And guess what? By the way, you got Gabriel Davis over there.
Right.
And you got Knox. And you got McKenzie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
So-
Singletary's a good back too.
Yeah.
What free agent do you look at going into next year that may be available, and where do you draft?
Do we
What's-
have a
what's
list?
Your main
Do we have a list?
What's your main priority of a draft going? As you see the season right now, as it is right now, where are we lacking?
On
Is it a
defense.
big man receiver?
It's
Defense.
still defense to me.
Defense?
Far
You start
enough.
with the defense.
I want a stud linebacker. A stud linebacker.
You need a beast out there, right?
A beast.
Kind of like that Urlacher type, that dominance presence, or
Calling
going back
shots.
to the old days.
And I'd
you
like
know?
to have Sauce Garner type
Yeah.
cornerback. Because Gouda will be back.
What about another big man? You need a receiver. And we can't. Is there a good quarterback?
Yeah, we
draft
get some
gonna
maybe-
happen here coming into this year.
I mean, you
Coming
got
into next
St.
draft?
Brown, you got Jameson Williams, and you can either re-sign Josh Reynolds or I think Chark's gone. I don't think he fits here.
No,
as
he
well.
doesn't. No.
But I think Josh Reynolds, if he's healthy, maybe give him another 1-year contract. And I like Kennedy too.
Yeah,
I
Kennedy's
love
scrappy.
Kennedy. Where was he at?
Yeah,
Well, Chark came back, so it took his roster
yeah.
spot.
Put him back to the practice
sucks,
squad,
you know,
right? And I think he's the better receiver, to be honest.
We
right
gotta
now.
go get somebody. Get a big receiver. Maybe I don't know what Evans is in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we need a name.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Yeah.
Keelan Allen over in the Chargers.
Antonio Brown, like that big,
The
like
big
I
dude.
don't know if I agree with just the names though. I mean,
No.
you look at St. Brown. You guys didn't know St. Brown.
He's gonna have.
Oh,
Is he over 1,000 yards
oh,
this
for
year?
sure.
I mean,
he's one of the best receivers in the league now.
yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I don't think that mindset is always the right answer. I think they're hitting on draft picks, and that's the key.
Okay.
And then
I
if
can
you
see
like
that.
on offense, I think if you want to finish the job, sure, you go grab another guy. But defense, you need so much work. That's where you need to plug names in. Guys that can play football.
Yeah.
Big name.
When St. Brown came out of USC, they said right there, they said, watch this kid. Don't worry about this I think it was Penny Sewell.
Mhm.
This draft pick on this kid is going to be a standout. Just keep an eye on him. and same problems. But I hated to give him on fantasy. I hated it. I did not want to give him up.
Well, Sewell, they just said he's one of the top players under 25 in the league right now. Right tackle. So
Dude,
I was
I've been
it's turning out
watching
to be a
him.
good pick.
We are. Here's the thing: is there's been times we know that the Lions have been one of the oldest teams in the NFL. Right now, we have one of the youngest.
Yeah.
So we
are the
We
youngest.
could, yeah, or are the youngest. Absolutely,
Yes.
Hollywood. So now we could just keep bringing these guys up to a higher
Yeah.
level. I think the future's bright. I really do.
We got to see what we pick this year. If we finish on a good note, and you go in that draft and you go, I like what they did, then we are right where we need to be.
You see how a few weeks, 1 month ago, we were like dead to rights. It's over. We were
Yeah,
like,
I know,
get rid
but-
of the grit drop, and then they win 3 in a row, and they played Buffalo like so tough.
Even
like
though
that,
losing-
the narrative changes.
Convincing.
Gotta
So
see if they
losing
do
is
this
convincing that they're
Sunday.
showing signs of improvement because it isn't the same old team. They would have never played a high contender like Buffalo on a holiday in front of a worldwide audience like that, and they played. That was the best game of all
What do you
three.
do?
on
What do you
Thursday.
do if they lose 4 in a row?
I don't think they are.
I don't think so either. I
My-
mean,
Yeah,
my mind-
Valente
my mind-
talking about that.
My mind doesn't even want to go there. They're not talking about tanking for a draft and all that.
I
I,
don't
just
think
think
so.
it's a pride thing.
and they're
right?
actually getting healthier now, which is a
Yes,
great thing.
they want to see what they
So-
have going into next year. We knew they weren't going to a.
We already
Super
got a
Bowl
pick
year.
that we have no control. That's getting under control.
Yeah,
We're
that's
going
true.
up, but that's that first. We're going to make the Rams pay for.
Yeah, everything we wanted, it's just the opposite now.
Yes.
Lions are getting better, Rams are sucking. It's a great situation.
So next, have you ever seen a rise and fall of a team in 1 year? You win a Super Bowl and boom, you just fall flat on your face. Look what
Not that
you lose
bad.
Cooper Cup, you lose.
It's a mess.
Stafford. It's the rise and fall in 1 year. That team, a year ago, everybody knew that team's going to the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what it is right now. It's depth. Because they went all in to win the Super Bowl. Got
Lost
all
some
these
players.
stars.
Yep.
Cup goes down. Stafford goes down. You got, who's this Bryce Perkins dude playing quarterback?
Yeah, I never heard of him.
You got Van Jefferson isn't what we thought he was. Allen Robinson gets hurt. Now you got some other guy
What
running
about
around.
Tampa?
They lost some free agents that moved on. They lost
Yeah.
some key players.
Tampa's
on that
going
defense.
this way.
Offensive line too in
Yeah.
LA. So
It was built to win that year, and it's obvious they're just an average, below average team right now.
Did you sign Fournette?
For here? Oh man, you'd have to probably get rid of one of your guys. You probably.
Well,
have to
I'm
go
thinking
up.
like that team's breaking up. Tampa Bay ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
They're getting beat on.
they're gonna be in it, but that division's terrible. They're still at 5 and 6. They're in the lead of the division.
Isn't that
It's
nuts?
fucking nuts.
It's crazy.
So there's a
Could you
chance
imagine
the
if
Lions
Fournette
could
on
be
your team?
9 and 8, right? And then someone in that division has 7 wins, and they'll get in the playoffs before a wild card team
Yeah.
or a contending
And the
team.
Lions are still in contention too, like you were saying. It's like there's some NFC teams are just really poor this year, you
Yeah.
know, and it's still wide open. The next couple of weeks will be a tell-all.
Yeah,
And when we're going to talk about the Lions, they got with Jacksonville coming here on Sunday.
mm-hmm.
Then they go, I think, to Minnesota. Is it Minnesota?
No, Minnesota's
Minnesota's got
coming here.
come
Minnesota's
Yeah.
coming here, so they got two more straight home. They had 3 straight home games. You're right, Buffalo, Jaguars, and Minnesota. Minnesota, man, are you guys sold on them? You feel like they are as good as their?
I don't know. After that beating they took from what you call it,
I mean, that was the biggest blowout they've had, I think, in Minneapolis in like 30 years. They got. I mean, they just looked
was
awful.
that to make them stronger, to make them
But
give
are-
that push?
Are they not as good as we think they are? Or people, their record can be deceiving, right? Are they one of those teams that's built on a deck of cards? You're going to go into the playoffs and get.
I don't
blown
think
right
they're as
away?
good as their record is.
I don't think so either. I don't see them as good as Philadelphia.
No.
You know, I feel
Philadelphia's
they're a
well
solid
rounded.
team. Minnesota's a solid team. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot of talent there, but they're not compared to Philly. No way.
Yeah, Philly is built to win. They're kind of like LA of last year. Like they just have that it factor, man. They
Yeah.
take
And
the
what's his
field-
name? Snookered Philly.
Who's that?
What team beat Philly?
Washington.
The Commanders.
Our boy Rivera, Riverboat Ron.
Riverboat Ron, and they're playing good football too.
That's a good looking team. Chase Young is going to be back in the next couple
Yes.
weeks. They're going to get better and better and better. Look out for them. Hey, the Lions beat them. They
Yes.
beat the Giants. Went toe to toe with Philly.
I know, man.
So until they lose, I would say 9 games. I'm gonna hang in there, you know, and root for them to get in.
I'll be happy with 7 games.
It's
So-
meaningful football down the stretch, you know.
What did you predict the Lions to be at the beginning of the season? 17 games. I mean, I can't. We have to go
I
back.
think
and
I
listen to it.
believe I said 8.
I think 6. Maybe it was my wins.
You were the lowest. I think I was at 7.
Okay, so we're still all. I don't think
Yeah.
you said 8. No,
Yeah.
eight's possible, right?
8 and 9.
Yeah, I was 8. I was like a game under
I had 7
500.
and 10.
7 and 10. It'll be interesting to see. Like you said, are they going to win, lose out? Yes, I think they could beat Jacksonville. I think Minnesota they could beat at home.
Yeah, they owe it to him.
They play Chicago one more time. They got the Jets in New York, which is we just talked about. It's a good football team, and you got Green Bay. I think one more time
At Green
We
Bay.
gotta
at Green
go
Bay.
to
The last game of the
We
season.
may pay the piper on
Which,
that.
which might not mean much at that point because by then, man, Rodgers
Yeah.
might be sitting there with a jogging suit on and a clipboard and a hat, and Love will be in the quarterback. But it's still a possibility, guys. It could still happen. We're holding out for hope, as we always
Yeah,
do.
I mean, I wouldn't expect them to make the playoffs this year, but I think, again, meaningful football is more than what we bargained for down the stretch. I think that shows exceptional growth, in my opinion.
I
Yeah, just play hard.
Call it losing or whatever, but it's still quite entertaining. I thought that football game on
Yeah.
Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, was a pretty damn good football
Do
game.
you think they know, like, they look at Goff and go, we see why LA got rid of him. Like, he's okay of a quarterback, but this is not what we're really looking for. Like, you see that, and he can get us maybe 8, 9 games. We need more than that.
I
Like,
don't think
these,
honestly, I don't think he's been the issue, though.
no, I'm not saying the issue, but you look at them and say, this ain't our future, man.
Well, that's why they traded up. That's why LA got rid of Goff and got Stafford, and they gave up there because they needed to take the next step up as a quarterback that they needed to win, and that's why they did it with Stafford.
For us, I think you got one or two options. You either draft a younger guy and let him sit there behind him for a year, or you go and get an upgrade, like you were saying, and get rid of him.
But are we ready for a plug-and-play quarterback like
We need a quarterback to come in.
like Lamar? Just hypothetically,
Oh, I
he's
love
out.
that.
If he would come in here, and we're missing pieces on the defense, does that change that team instantly to a
I
contender?
believe so.
Because he's wheels,
No.
he's a thrower. He's not a one-dimensional quarterback, sort of like a Goff. Because we've seen
But
him.
now he's got weapons to throw to.
I mean,
You got to be careful what you ask for, though, because then you kind of hoodwink your franchise because you're paying a quarterback.
right? You mortgage everything
I
on
get
the
it.
quarterback.
So
And then you
why
take
not
steps
build your
backward.
team? To your point, yeah, we're not ready for a plug and play guy right
No.
now, but let him sit for a year. Get
I
a
like
guy in
that
the
as well.
second round,
Yeah.
and now you got your team more complete. You got your third draft under your belt. Now the rookie can come in and he's cheap. He's a talented kid. You got him in the second round. You might be ready to win in a year or two.
Yeah.
I say year one, you're in the playoffs. Year two, you should be ready to win something. And if you don't, hey,
Well, Denver thought that by getting, who they got,
right, that's not always the
that
answer.
was going to be the magic answer to winning
I don't
football
know why
games
they
and
didn't
putting you
see
in
that,
contention to
though.
get to a playoff, and it didn't work. Shit, they look horrible.
Pete
It
Carroll
was a big
see
money
it.
guy.
That's why you like. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't do nothing here.
Don't you feel like Elway was so hard pressed for a QB?
He's always
Oh,
been.
absolutely. The fans were
He's always been.
Yeah. Look how many damn quarterbacks Denver's had,
He lucked out with Peyton, man. He lucked out with Peyton. He paid an ultimate price for
Ever
that.
since Peyton, right? Yeah.
And they haven't really had much. They had Gus. What was they had how many quarterbacks?
Brock Osweiler.
Osweiler. They've had so many goofballs.
Osweiler.
Just strange, man. But yeah, you gave it's not going to be a one-man show. It can't be. I kind of like what you're saying, Phil. You got to take it from where you're at right now. Don't stop with what you're building because you can pay big money to one person and say, all right, man, we trust in you, but that guy could get injured. He could be a flop. A lot of things can happen, and you just tied up a shit ton of money on one person.
We get injured now and golf, we're done. We're fucked.
Yeah, I mean,
Think about it. Who's back? We're done.
Sudfeld.
is that the backup?
We got Nate Sudfeld from
From San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, I like Lamar Jackson. I do. Again, just paying him that much money is just tough to me, man. Especially with what we're trying to do, and the defense is still not where we need it to be a legitimate playoff contender.